Good afternoon, everybody. This is Steve Fletcher with a trumpet for my people. Today is June 16th, 2024, and I want to bring forth this important piece of information here as I see a lot of people watching June 22nd as the day of Pentecost. June 22nd as the day of Pentecost. But I want to bring to your attention that in Israel, the full moon is not until June 22nd at 4:07 a.m. So the full moon is going to be the Sabbath. It's going to be the true Sabbath. And so when we watch for the day of Pentecost, if we're looking for the day of Pentecost, which is the day after the seventh Sabbath, okay, then we would need to consider that the full moon, being the 14th day of the month, would be the true Sabbath. That means the next day would be the day after the Sabbath. So for those who are watching June 22nd as the day of Pentecost, let's take a look at this information and see how this is going to play out. Okay, so if June 22nd at 4:07 a.m. is the full moon, okay, the full moon being the 14th day of the month, being the true Sabbath day. Okay, that means the day after the Sabbath is not going to start until June 22nd in the evening at sunset, going through June 23rd. Okay, June 22nd in the evening going through June 23rd to sunset on June 23rd. And so, for example, on the day of Pentecost, when the day of Pentecost had fully come, it was 9 o'clock in the morning when the Holy Spirit fell. In other words, it was the next morning. It was not in the evening. Okay, and so if we look at this situation, like what it says in Leviticus 23:15 and 16, you shall count for yourselves from the day after the Sabbath, from the day that you brought the sheaf of the wave offering, 7 Sabbaths shall be completed. Count 50 days to the day after the 7th Sabbath. So you have the 7th Sabbath being June 22nd. Then you count the 50th day being the day after the 7th Sabbath. So it's not going to be on the day of the full moon. That's the 14th day. That's the Sabbath day. That's the 49th day. That represents the 49th day. So we have to go to the day after the 7th Sabbath. So we would be watching June 22nd at sunset, but really going into June 23rd, the day after the Sabbath, going into the 23rd, as it was on the day of Pentecost. When the day of Pentecost had fully come, it was 9 a.m. in the morning. Okay, so I'm pointing to June 23rd. Everything that I have been sharing with you is pointing to June 23rd. Going into June 24th, really, I had not considered the possibility of June 22nd. But June 22nd is the full moon in Israel. Now, if we want to look at the solstice and look at the full moon in other parts of the world, I think in other parts of the world, the full moon is going to be on June 21st. But Israel is God's clock, so we need to consider what the full moon time is in Israel. Israel, full moon, June, lunar calendar, full moon, June 22nd, at 4:07 a.m., and this would be the 49th day. Okay, the 49th day. for those of us who are watching the possibility of Pentecost being on June 22nd or June 23rd. Would it be on June 22nd? Okay. So this proves that June 22nd is simply the Sabbath, but I would not expect rapture to happen on June 22nd. It's going to be the day after. Count 50 days to the day after the seventh Sabbath. So the day after the seventh Sabbath. And the Sabbath is proven by the full moon. Okay? The Sabbath is proven by the full moon. And the next day then, June 23rd. This is Pentecost on the Orthodox calendar. On the Hebrew calendar, it is Sivan 17. But if we really want to consider June 22nd being the 14th day of the month, then it really is the 15th day of the third month. Sivan 15. And this is proven by the full moon being the 14th day, June 22nd. The 15th day of the third month, Sivan 15, June 23rd. Okay. So when we are looking at all of this information, we have to know when is the full moon, where the full moon is going to be, what time in Israel, and this will show us the true 14th day of the month, the true 49th day, if this is the count that we're waiting for the 50 days of Pentecost, as it is shown on the Orthodox calendar, June 23rd, is Pentecost. But also on the Hebrew calendar, even though June 23rd is showing up on the Hebrew calendar as Sivan 17, we can know by the full moon that June 23rd is Sivan 15. Many people believe that the 15th day of the third month is the 153 fishes, the great catch of John chapter 21. The great catch of fishes, 153. So here we would have the 15th day of the third month. Many believe that this would be the true day of Pentecost, the day after the Sabbath, the day after the full moon. And this is exactly what we are seeing, and this is exactly what I am watching on June 23rd. Okay? So I hope this helps to clarify why I would not be watching June 22nd. Because even though it may be the beginning of the 50th day on the night of June 22nd, it says, count 50 days to the day after the seventh Sabbath. And I believe this is why the day of Pentecost fully come was at 9 o'clock in the morning. On the day after the 49th day, not in the evening of the 49th day going into the 50th day as the 50th day is beginning, but going into the next day, Pentecost fully come, Sunday, June 23rd, 2024. I hope this helps everything that we are watching and that you can take this into consideration. I will leave all the links for you of my previous videos. As I have shared with you, the Revelation 12 sign revealed to us Jupiter is the man-child. The great conjunction of December 21st, 2020 revealed to us the dragon wanting to devour the child. The second sign of Revelation chapter 12, which shows that the woman then will flee into the wilderness for 1260 days. That brought us to the devil comet closest to Earth exactly on June 2nd, 2024. I don't think this is a coincidence from the Great Conjunction, the Devil Comet closest to Earth exactly 1,260 days later, June 2nd, 2024, and that begins a war in heaven between Michael and the archangels of the dragon. Michael the archangel and the dragon and his angels, a war in heaven, which is shown to us in the book of Daniel for 21 days. June 2nd, 2024, 21 days to Sunday, June 23rd. And this lines up with the full moon of June 22nd being the 49th day, June 23rd being the 50th day. To me, it is very clear. So I'll leave it at that right now. I pray you are all blessed. This is Steve Fletcher with a trumpet for my people, the sign of his coming revealed.